most original and creative talent in our business. Would you welcome Mr. Orson Welles?
Ladies and gentlemen, Orson Welles again, come to call for another visit.
Good evening. This is Orson Welles.
Stay tuned.
Right after this episode.
For our discussion.
Good evening. This is Orson Welles, your producer of a special series of broadcasts presented by the makers of Pabst Blue Ribbon, the Mercury Summer Theater of the Air.
Tonight and every Friday night, Pabst Blue Ribbon presents you with the front row seat in America's favorite summer theater. And now, before America's famous producer, writer, director, Orson Welles brings you tonight's performance, and so that our story may move without interruption, allow me to tell you that our sponsors have kindly omitted their usual commercial message at the halftime. So right now, before we get started, here are some thoughts on the subject of the Labor Day weekend. And very important thoughts they are, too, for they concern blended, splendid Pabst Blue Ribbon. Let other folks journey to highways and byways looking for excitement this weekend. Let others enjoy active sports. Yours truly, Brother Wallington, is going to park himself right on the porch with a nice, easy book and a convenient supply of blended, splendid Pabst Blue Ribbon. That's what I call really resting. The old body in a prone position on a comfortable glider or porch chair, and the good right hand resting around a cool, foam-capped glass of those never less than 33 fine brews. Yes, sirree, that's the life. Enjoying that perfect Pabst Blue Ribbon flavor. Not too heavy, not too light, but clean, fresh, sparkling with the real beer flavor coming through just the way you like it. Remember, if your dealer can't always supply all you'd like, it's worthwhile to keep on asking for blended, splendid Pabst Blue Ribbon. And now, Orson Welles.
Tonight's broadcast was originally prepared for an album for the Decca record people by a Mercury actor and a very talented writer, Mr. Brainerd Duffield. The album was made by the Decca people, with Mr. Charles Lawton in the role. We bring it to you on the air for the first time. Mr. Duffield's version, Mercury production of certainly the greatest novel ever written in America, Herman Melville's immortal Moby Dick.
Call me Ishmael. Some years ago, never mind how long, I put down for a whaling voyage to sail about and see the watery part of the world. When on that winter's night the Pequod thrust her vindictive bows into the cold, malicious waves, a black evil magic shivered in the air. A heathen crew that had small touch of human mothers in them, and housed in his cabin there sat brooding a madman captain that no man aboard had ever seen. A madman with a stick of whalebone for a leg. For several days after leaving Nantucket, nothing above hatches was seen of Captain Ahab. It was a short, cold Christmas. And when darkness came, sky and sea split with thunder and blazed with the lightning. Then suddenly, I looked to the taffrail. And there, upon his quarterdeck, stood Captain Ahab.
Mr. Starbuck?
Aye, Captain. All hands are here.
Thank you, Mr. Starbuck. Do you hear me there, men?
Aye.
What do you do when you see a whale, men?
Sing out for him. Sing out, Captain. He sing out loud.
Sing out for him, then, do you? And what do you do next, men?
We're away and after it.
Aye, that's right, Captain. And what tune is it you pull to, men?
A dead whale or a stone boat?
Aye, that's the tune, my boys. All ye mastheaders, have any of you afore now heard me give orders concerning a white whale? Look, you see this Spanish ounce of gold A $16 gold piece, men. Do you see it?
Aye,
Hand me on top, Mr. Starbuck. I'll fix this gold piece to the mast. And whosoever of you raises me a white-headed whale with a wrinkled brow and a crooked jaw, whosoever of you raises me that same white whale shall have this gold ounce. Skin your eyes for him, boys. Look sharp for white water. If he but see a bubble, sing out!
Captain Ahab! Be that the whale some call Moby Dick?
Moby Dick. You know the white whale, then?
Does he fantail a little curious, sir, afore he goes down?
And a curious spout, too, Captain?
Have he 1, 2, 3 good many iron in he hide, too, Captain?
Aye. Aye, the harpoons lie all twisted and wrenched in him. Aye, his spout's a big one, like a whole shock of wheat, and as white as Nantucket wool. And he fantails like a split jib in a squall. Death and devil's men, it is Moby Dick you've seen. Moby Dick.
Captain Ahab.
Yes, Mr. Starbuck.
I, too, have heard of Moby Dick. But was it he took off your leg?
Who told you that? Aye, Starbuck. It was Moby Dick dismasted me. Moby Dick that brought me this dead stump I stand on now. Aye, it was that cursed white whale made a poor pagan lubber of me to the end of time. Aye. And I'll chase him round Good Hope, and round the Horn, and round the Norway Maelstrom, and round perdition's flames before I give him up. And this is what you've shipped for, men, to chase him on both sides of land and over all sides of earth till he spouts black blood and rolls fin out. What say ye, men? I think ye to look brave.
Aye, aye.
God hunt us all if we hunt not Moby Dick to his death. Morning, Mr. Starbuck.
Good morning, sir.
Well then, Mr. Starbuck, what's the long face about?
No matter, sir.
Speak, man, would you not chase the white whale? Are you not game for Moby Dick?
I'm game for his crooked jaw and game for the jaws of death, Captain Ahab, if all comes fairly. But I come here to hunt whales, not my commander's vengeance. How many barrels will your vengeance fetch in the Nantucket market, Captain
Come
Ahab?
closer, Starbuck. Money's not the measurer, my lad. Let me tell you, my vengeance will fetch a premium here in this heart.
Nay, sir, but vengeance on a dumb brute that smote you from blindest instinct. It's blasphemous. Madness and blasphemy.
Mr. Starbuck, there's one God that's lord over the earth and one captain that's lord over the Pequod. You so much as dare think critically of me.
I spoke too rashly, sir.
My conscience is in this ship's keel, Mr. Starbuck. And though my motive and my object may be mad, I'll hunt the white whale. I'm bound to hunt him, heart, soul, and body. Lungs and life, I'll wreak my hate upon him.
God keep me. Keep us all.
No
You're
more
my
than
commander.
that.
I must obey. You need have no fear of me. But let Ahab beware of Ahab. Beware of yourself, old man.
Go below, Mr. Starbuck.
Aye, sir.
Go below, down, dog, and kill.
I'm not used to be spoke to that way, sir. I less than half like it.
Then be called 10 times a donkey, and a mule, and an ass, and be gone, or I'll clear the world of you. Masthead there! Look sharp, all of you! There are whales hereabouts. If you see a white one, Stretch your lungs for him!
Aye, aye, sir!
What's that he said? Ahab, beware of Ahab. There's something there. Oh, the lightning flashes through my skull. And mine eyeballs ache and ache. My whole beaten brain seems beheaded and rolling on some stunning ground. My heart is sick. 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 I'll go below. It's like going down into a tomb for an old captain to descend this narrow scuttle down to his grave-dug bed. I seek my nightly grave to sleep between shrouds. And down I go, gripping at the iron banister to help my crippled way. Hark to the crack and din of my bony step. My dreams will be of the crunching teeth of sharks. Dreams. If I could sleep, old age is wakeful. The longer linked with life, the less man has to do with aught that looks like death. Yonder the diver's sun, slow dived from noon, goes down. My soul mounts up. She wearies with her endless hill. Time was when as the sunrise spurred me, so the sunset soothed. No more. No more. This lovely light, it lights me not. All loveliness is anguish, damned subtly and malignantly, damned in the midst of paradise. Good night. Yet 'tis not too hard a task, good night. 'Tis not too hard. What I've dared, I've willed, and what I've willed, I'll do. They think me mad. I am madness maddened. The prophecy has been that I should be dismembered. I lost this leg. I do now prophesy that I'll dismember my dismemberer. Now be the prophet and fulfiller one. Ye great bully gods, you've knocked me down, but I'm up again. Ahab's compliments to you. Come and see if you can swerve me. Swerve me! The path to my fixed purpose is laid with iron rails, whereon my soul is grooved to run o'er unsounded gorges, through the hearts of mountains, under torrents' beds I rush. So will I fight ye, grim phantom futures. Stir no! Stir no! The white whale spouts thick blood.
I, Ishmael, was one of those aboard the Pequod. Oh, God, to sail with such a heathen crew. Your true whale hunter is as much a savage as any cannibal, but the harpooners aboard the Pequod were savages indeed. Tashtego, the blood-skinned Iroquois, Queequeg, a tattooed island aboriginal, and Great Daggoo, a giant coal-black African. The blacksmith's forge was on the deck, and there the savages would crouch to worship fire. There, too, one day came Captain Ahab to watch the sparks fly and hear the hammer ring.
Blacksmith, I suppose you can smooth most any seams and dents, no matter how hard the metal?
Aye, sir, I think I can.
Can ye smooth out a seam like this one upon my brow? Good. Glad would I lay my head upon thy anvil and feel thy heaviest hammer beat between my eyes. Though ye see it in my flesh, it is worked down into the bones of my skull. That is all wrinkles. Look ye here. I want a harpoon made. One that 1,000 yoke of fiends could never part. Something that'll stick in a whale like his own fin bone. There's the stuff. Lucky blacksmith, they're the gathered nail stubs of the steel shoes of racing horses.
Horseshoe stubs, sir?
Aye.
Why, there's the best and stubbornest stuff we blacksmiths ever worked.
So it is indeed. These stubs will weld together like glue from the melted bones of murderers. Quick, forge me the harpoon. Hammer, man! Hammer and temper the steel till it smells of fire like a musket's powder pan. Hand it here. This harpoon is for the white whale. The white whale, my boy, is for the white fiend's hump. Do you hear? Now for the knives and barbs to cut and twist in him. Here are my razors, the best of steel. Here, blacksmiths, make the barbs and make 'em sharp as the needled sleet of the icy sea. Take 'em, man, I have no need for 'em, for now I neither shave, sup, nor pray. So here to work. Hammer, blacksmiths, pound away. Now they take shape. No water. No water for these dagger points. Don't temper them with water. I want the true death temper. Ahoy there, Tashtego, Queequeg, Doggo, what say you, pagans? Will you give me as much blood as will cover this barb?
Aye.
Here's my brave lads. Here now I'll make 3 punctures in this heathen flesh and temper my harpoon with human blood. Ego non baptizet in nomine Patris et in nomine Diaboli. In the name of the devil, I baptize thee. In the devil's name. Ship ahoy! Aboard the Albatross! Have you seen the white whale? The white whale, did you say? Aye, the white whale! Sperm whale! Moby Dick! Beware of him! The harpoon's not yet forged! That'll kill Moby Dick! Not forged! Looking, Anticator! Here in this hand, I hold his death! God have mercy on thee! The black vomit wrench thee. Race forward there, up helm, and keep her to the course. He's in these seas. Somewhere in these seas. Old Moby Dick is swimming. Morning, Mr. Starbuck.
Morning, sir.
It's a mild wind and a mild-looking sky.
Indeed it is, sir.
And such a day. Very much such a sweetness as this, Mr. Starbuck. I struck my first whale, a boy harpooner of 18, 40 years ago. 40 years on the pitiless sea. And of these 40 years, I've not spent 3 ashore. 40 years. 40 years I've fed on dry salt fare when the poorest landsman had fresh fruit to his daily hand. Away, whole oceans away from the girl wife that I wedded. I widowed that poor girl when I married her, Starbuck. Oh, what a 40 years fool has Ahab been. Do I look old? So very old, Mr. Starbuck. I feel deadly faint. Bowed and humped. As though I were Adam staggering beneath the piled-up centuries since paradise. Stand close to me, Starbuck, and let me look into a human eye. Human eye. This is the magic glass, man. I see a green land. I see my wife and child. I see them in thine eyes.
Captain, let's leave these deadly waters. Let's sail home. Think how joyously we'd bowl our way to old Nantucket Harbor.
Harbor, aye, home is pitiful, and in the harbor there's safety, comfort, hearthstone, warm blankets, friends, and all that's kind to our mortalities. It's a mild wind to carry us home. And the air smells now as if it blew from a faraway meadow. They've been making hay on the slopes of the Andes, Starbuck. And the mowers are sleeping among the new mown hay.
Captain Ahab, sir, shall I give the orders? Shall I tell him to put about, to sail for home?
Home,
Oh, she blows!
Where away? Where away?
Leave.
I see him. A hump. Like a snow hill. It's Moby Dick. Reef the fore and main topsails. Stand by to lower away. Oh, Moby Dick. I clutch thy heart at last. Pull at your oars, my good boys. Roar and pull, my thunderbolts. Beach me on his white back, boys. Do this for me, and I'll fill your caps with gold. There's white water again. Close to. Hand me my harpoon. Stand up and give it to me. There. Yeah, that's his hump. Steady. Here she goes. You missed him.
Never, never will you capture him, old man. In heaven's name, no more of this. It's worse than devil's madness.
Did you see him sing out for every spout? We spout 10 times a second.
Ah, she blows!
Where to?
Straight to lure!
Lay me on, boys. Pull my hearties. See that white water? I shall go staring mad. Pull, waves. Pull and keep pulling. Burst your livers in your lungs. We're coming up. Steady. Steady, boys, help me. Where's to stand the harpoon now? The eternal sap is running in old Ahab's arm. I'll try again. You got him. Here we go.
The rope is broken.
Harpoon is gone.
It's an omen, Captain. Shall we keep chasing this murderous fish till he swamps the last man? Shall we be dragged by him to the bottom of the sea?
Ahab is forever Ahab, man. The deed's immutably decreed, and I'm the fate's lieutenant under orders. Where is he now?
Can't see the spout, sir. Too dark to see.
Huh? There he is.
There he is, sir!
He shoots like an arrow out of the sea. Stand by me, man. Oh, you see an old man cut down to the stump, leaning on a shattered lance. 'Tis Ahab. Believe ye men in things called omens? You feel brave?
Aye!
Now then, crack your backbones. and bite your knives in two.
Master, the sea's alive with sharks. They crowd our wake like
Forehead to forehead. I meet you this time, Moby Dick. Steer for the open jaw, my boys. I grin at you. I grin at you, you grinning whale. Oh, your sweet powers of air. Hug me close. A lance now. Steady. My eyes are blind. I cannot see. I cannot see. Yet. From hell's heart, I stab at thee, Moby Dick. For hate's sake, I spit my breath at thee. The jaw! The jaw!
The drama is done. The Pequod, all her crew and captain drowned. And only I, Ishmael, escaped to tell this tale. Oh, Ahab, my captain, noble soul, still do you move before me in all your majesty. Up from the spray of your ocean perishing into the unbodied air.
Here, far waterlocked, beyond all hum of human weal and woe, where for long Chinese ages the billows have rolled on, speechless and unspoken to, is now my most familiar home. Here in that awful waterland, amid the world's foundations, where unrecorded names and navies rust, ballasted with bones of millions of the drowned, I lay me down. Oh, I have seen enough to split the planets and make Abraham an infidel. Yet not one syllable is mine. Oh, hail, great Moby Dick, most mighty, broad baronial tyrant of the sea. Thou art my conqueror. Thy throne is here in these unverged seas. Oh, lonely death, on lonely life, and this great shroud, the sea, rolls on as it has rolled 5,000 years ago.
Orson Welles will return in just a moment, but first let me again remind you to be patient with your dealer when occasionally these days he's unable to supply you with all the Pabst Blue Ribbon you'd like. He's doing his best, you can be sure of that. Yes, and here's something else you can be sure of. Every single bottle of Pabst Blue Ribbon you do get will, as always, be the happy blending of never less than 33 fine brews. Yes, every foaming frosty glass you enjoy will, as always, have that famous Pabst Blue Ribbon flavor. Not too heavy, not too light. but fresh, clean, sparkling, with a real beer taste coming through the way you like it. So keep asking for Blended Splendid Pabst Blue Ribbon. And now again, Mr. Wells.
Next week, ladies and gentlemen, please join us again. Our offering will be John Galsworthy's great love story, The Apple Tree.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcast.
Well, hello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. This is a special presentation of Orson Welles, an extension of the Orson Welles commentaries. We're doing this. This is the Orson Welles Summer Theater, something like that. And I'm sure Vincent.
Summer Theater of the Air. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was close. and we talked about this. Now, what listeners will have heard recently. The commentaries that we did where he reads from Moby Dick. In that one, which re-recorded a year and a half ago, but I presented for the first time last week or something. We're talking about this performance that you're going to hear tonight. And we first say that, we believe he did an hour-long version, and then there was this version. And I think we even say, like, has anyone heard the hour-long, and can they compare it? And no one could compare it because no one had heard the hour-long, but we all knew it existed. But then we found out mid-recording that no, it didn't exist. There's no hour-long version of this. So this is the only version that exists. And then we thought it was the record set that he essentially just came on and played the record, which didn't star him, which starred Charles Laughton. And that's not what this is either. So this is actually, you're going to hear Orson as Ahab, which is awesome. The whole part that is on the commentary is different, is additional to this. So I really feel like the whole picture is hearing this half hour and hearing the 15 minutes that is on the commentary. And then you're getting a better picture of the whole thing. And I think it's neat that Orson did this because and we'll go over to Vincent here in a second, because I believe he was doing these at virtually the same time, but I'm not sure. Vincent, is that kind of true that he was doing the summer thing as well as his commentaries at the same time? And so that's why he did
exactly
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't remember what order you said you were going to play these, but this comes before the commentaries.
What order would you play them in?
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter, but I think I would play this first because the other one is a response to that, right? Yes. So he says, he has really has two things going on at the same time here. It's late August 1946. He's just finished his Broadway musical Around the World, which did not do very well. It closed early. They were thinking about moving it to London, in the sort of London equivalent of Broadway. They weren't going to do that, but Wells was sort of trying to make it into a film version, doing all these things, also getting ready to make The Lady from Shanghai, which is his next subsequent film. Meanwhile, he's still doing the Mercury Summer Theater of the Air, which was in New York City, largely began with his company of players from around the world. And it was designed as just a reminder to recap, readapt shows that he had done in his other theater, radio theater, as well as a couple new shows. And so I think we just thought, oh, of course, this is just one of his re-adaptations, because most of them were for this series. There was a couple of new ones. Of course, as you said, Buck, no. Shockingly, this is Wells's only version of Moby Dick on the radio. In fact, but it's not really Wells's version of Moby Dick on the radio, because this was adapted by, as he mentions, Bramer Duffield, who was a Mercury theater player. But Wells really didn't have anything to do with this. And even though Wells makes it a little confusing at the beginning, he's like, oh, this is the record, the Decca record, a 78 record. This is just the script for that record that they redo. And in fact, they change quite a bit. So basically what happens in this adaptation is he cuts out a bunch of things to make it fit the 30 minutes. One of the things that he cuts is the sermon about Jonah, which then Wells says, oh, I really should have done that. And then he does it in the commentaries. That's what this is. And he mentioned that he's like, I cut this from the Mercury Summer Theater of the Air. I'm going to do it here. and I think he just really, really likes that role. I mean, it is strange that this is like one of the great canons of literature, American literature, and he never does it, which is kind of out of character. But Wells did spend a majority of the rest of his life doing many versions of Moby Dick. So that's the one thing that I want to mention here. Wells not starred, but he was in a 1955 film version of Moby Dick where he plays the priest, the pastor who does that sermon again.
Yes.
And then in, let's see, I think it was 1950. No, that was 56. In 55, he starts to make a play version of Moby Dick called Moby Dick Rehearsed. It's now considered one of the great sort of meta plays because it's not a play of Moby Dick. It's a play about people putting on the show Moby Dick in a very minimalist way. And Wells started to make a film later in his life. He tried to make a filmed version of Moby Dick Rehearsed, which was the play. A quick fun fact, that film / play featured Christopher Lee, the great late Christopher Lee. And one day I was sitting in my office and one of our librarians down the hall, he's like walking down, he's like, come here. And I was like, okay. So I came there and it was Christopher Lee on the phone. He had called the curator because we have at the University of Michigan and the largest collection of Orson Welles papers, archives, manuscripts. And Christopher Lee, one of the things he did apparently on the is he told our curator, I have a picture of every production I've ever been in. And he said, except for one, Moby Dick Rehearsed. Do you have one? And we spent the rest of the day, looking through boxes. I was pretty sure there wasn't one, but we obviously for Christopher Lee, we're gonna, double, triple, quadruple check everything. And we did not have one. And so I sadly believe that he died not having that to complete his collection. So it's a great shame. But that is to say, Wells, clearly was familiar with Moby Dick, very important in his later career. Last quick fun fact before we talk about the rest of Moby Dick. He was also obsessed with paintings of Moby Dick. So he had this, you can Google them and find them fairly easy. If you search like painting Moby Dick, Orson Welles, he had this very sort of minimalistic whale that he did. And he painted it constantly. I think it was connected to Orson Welles or Moby Dick Rehearsed. I'm not 100% sure, but he would paint it. He had paintings. And there's a famous story about Glenn Beck, the conservative radio commentator, who is obsessed with Orson Welles. He buys a ton of his stuff, loves his career. Thinking about the Orson Welles commentaries is a little ironic, but so be it. And Glenn Beck collects a lot of Orson Welles stuff. And one of the things he did is he bought this fish bowl that Orson Welles had painted with all these Moby Dick insignias. And Glenn Beck told this story about one day he left his office and then he came back in the next day and his bowl was perfectly clean. All the Moby Dick paintings were gone, all this stuff. Apparently the cleaning team thought the bowl was just dirty because it was not a well-painted bowl. And they washed it, they cleaned it, they dried it, and it was perfectly shiny without Orson Welles' original painting on it. So Welles' iterations of Moby Dick have a long life that extends from 1946, and a very interesting one that has a strange cast of characters from Christopher Lee to Glenn Beck.
Wow. Interesting. Wow. Thank you. Let's go over to Kathy. Kathy, what stood out on here, or what do you want to share?
It was fascinating. It makes me sad that we don't get more adaptations of classic literature through Netflix and Amazon Prime and things like that. Because it's brilliant, but just the audacity of taking the 800-page novel and making a 30-minute adaptation of it. I was just fascinated by, as well as trying to explain it to undergraduates today. I was struck with this piece that I could put it with Jaws, and and try to think of the other great dramas and comedies that sort of riff on the obsessions that Captain Ahab is going through here. So.
Well, I think anytime it seems in modern literature or film or whatever, anytime someone's obsessed with something or hyper obsessed, they refer to Moby Dick almost every time. And certainly Star Trek with the different episodes where they've had one of the captains obsessed. I think it's happened to Captain Kirk. I think it's happened to Captain Picard, where they quoted Melville lines and things. The certainly the line I've heard quoted a couple times, and I always find this interesting, is the line where they say, if his chest was a mortar, he would shoot his heart at the whale. But I've heard his chest as a mortar and chest as a cannon. And I was like, how was it originally written? Was it cannon? Was it mortar? I don't know, but I've heard it several times each way, and so maybe it's, I don't know. I don't understand that piece, but anyway. So let's go over to Terry and get his thoughts.
I can't add anything to the history of this production, but I can add a little bit to the psychology of it, without going the obvious way and body shaming Orson Welles and making him the whale. I think he was Captain Ahab. I think this truly was an obsession with him. And that's why he kept coming back to it. Of course, it's a great work of drama. Of course, it's an amazing story. But I think Orson Welles identified with Captain Ahab. He needed to conquer this challenge.
Yeah.
And for him, he never got it right. He came close. He did, for us, amazing dramatizations of Melville's novel, which, by the way, was published more than half a century before Orson Welles was born. So this had been well established in, I hate this word, in the zeitgeist. But I think that was part of it too. He was steeped in this story, but I also believe that he identified with the main character. Whether anybody else sees that connection, I don't know, but that's my 25-cent psychobabble on the topic.
I think it's a very common one that people make with Orson Welles, right? So, obviously it's a in some ways it's convenient, to say like, oh, it's somebody's obsession that they keep returning to. But I think you're right. I mean, he does keep returning to Moby Dick, literally, and he never really gets it. Arguably, this isn't really his adaptation. I mean, he plays Captain Ahab, right? And then he tries so many times. The play was completed and shown a couple times, not like a big tour or anything like that, but the film doesn't get done, tries to finish it. He has several of these films that he continues to work on for his entire life and try to get them. And so I do think he sees a comparison there. I was curious what people thought of his piratey accent. It made me actually wonder when the idea of a pirate voice came to be, because Welles is so piratey in a way that really sticks out to me. And I'm wondering, like, when did the iconic piratey pirate voice come to be? Does anyone have any sense of? I would assume it's radio. In film I don't quite see it as much. Yeah, I don't know if anyone has any idea.
Guess maybe melodrama, 19th century theater.
That's probably right. I mean, you probably know more than anyone here, so
yeah,
that's a good guess. It's a good guess. Anyway, random thought.
It's certainly around now, and folks love to do the pirate talk and things. I mean, they don't use it in film anymore or anything because it's so over the top. But yeah, it takes away a little bit from this performance, I think, when you listen to it. Yeah,
me too.
I believe the last time we talked about Orson Welles and Moby Dick, I mentioned that I had worked for a woman who considered, as Welles did, Moby Dick to be, well, she said the greatest American novel. He said the greatest novel. And I can appreciate that. I did try to reread it not terribly long ago, and it's a lot of work, not just because it's long, but it's so detailed. And I admired Welles for being able to, and other others involved in the adaptations, for being able to hold on to the heart of the novel without getting lost in the minutia of it. I thought that it was a perfect resource for great drama. Obviously, the story itself, but also all of the beautiful language and the conflict and just everything that is in the original source material. And I think Wells deserves great credit for his ability to bring it to life.
There does seem to be this, we see this in other novels too, this trend of like, sometimes greatness needs to be a little bit painful, right? It's like this great success you make when you finish it. I think of War and Peace. People talk about that in the same way. I myself have never gotten through Moby Dick, I will admit. I appreciate the parts that, like you said, Wells and other people pull out of it. But I've tried a couple times and I thought, nah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot. I've gotten through, I think, 120 pages or something of it, and just said, okay, I'm putting. I mean, I was going to get back to it. I've never gotten back to it, but
lives on my Kindle.
Yeah. Well, I have a book form, and it's like that thick. It's like,
it is very thick, which just shows the difference that we are not the people of the mid-19th century. I can't get through James Fenimore Cooper novels, and they're have much bigger adventures, in them. It's just people had the patience to sit and read. It's kind of like the longer Dickens novels, sit and read and read and read and read. Whereas I think film's ability to collapse time and space through editing and move things along have kind of made it more difficult for us to appreciate long, slow, complicated narratives. So,
Well, my problem is I can't even get through the Mad Magazine version of it, and that's 8 pages long. So I don't know. I tend to think I might have a problem. I'm not sure. It's not you, it's me. Anyway, anything more to cover with this one?
I just have a quick note. So, Wells specifically calls out Charles Lawton as Captain Ahab. I tried to listen to this record. You can buy it. It's available online, but I could not find a digitized version. Maybe there's one out there. But so Charles Lawton at this point does have a lot of connections to the Mercury Theater and Wells himself. They were good friends. They were politically aligned, very much so. And about this time, during Around the World, slightly before, anyway, somewhere around this point, Wells and Charles Lawton are thinking about producing a play together. And what they were planning to do is they were planning to bring Bertolt Brecht's Galileo, which is a longer title that I'm forgetting, to the United States for its initial run in the United States. And, this play, if anyone's familiar with it, is about dogmatism, particularly in the government, and oppression. Largely, it's about the trial of Galileo for being a heretic. And they were working on it together, and they, it was like their big thing. But they had a bit of a falling out because Charles Lawton decided that he needed a big Broadway producer, and he brought in Michael Todd, who famously Wells brought in to do Around the World, and they didn't agree at all. And so Wells said, "I'm out." And Charles Lawton said, "Okay, well, he's going to take me there. He's going to get me all the way there." Ended up being that Charles Lawton also ended up hating Michael Todd, and Michael Todd left that production as well. It ended up being almost the exact same thing that happened. And Charles Lawton was not involved in the eventual staging of Galileo in the United States, which happened a couple years later. Wow. So they had a bit of a falling out, Wells and Charles Lawton, although I suspect, from what I can tell, it wasn't permanent or anything like that. So, they were pretty decent friends around this time.
I'm just glad for Orson that his colleague, friend, whatever, created this version for a record, and that he had that to grab onto, because I don't know if we would have gotten a version, because maybe condensing it down to be a half hour is probably quite the chore. So he had this one that existed that would fit on record. I don't know if it was one record. It should be about 40 minutes long, if that. So you would think that would be an easy thing to condense down to 30. I don't know, because he says he excised the preacher's part, or the the sermon piece or whatever, and he has a 15-minute version of that, on his commentary. I don't see how that would even fit onto I feel like he must have expanded it, because if it was on the record, you can't imagine how they could fit 15 more minutes onto that record, plus this 30-minute sort of version that Orson created. So it will be interesting to compare the two, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, I have a surprise for all of you.
Yeah.
I did find a digitized. It's on the Internet Archives. I'm going to put it in the chat, and so Daryl, if you want to share it with your audience, put it there. And I haven't listened to it yet, but I did find it. So,
How long is it?
Let's see.
Yeah, that's the question, right?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's roughly 40 minutes.
Okay. So it's probably one album and not a double album or anything. And so
it's a single album.
Yeah.
And on the cover it says Charles Lawton as Captain Ahab, Moby Dick, and it's a Decca.
Record. And that's what he said. He says Decca over and over again. He's talking about where it says. So I'm like, well, I know it's a Decca recording for sure. Like, yeah.
So there it is.
All right. Thank you so much. Because I was looking at YouTube and it wasn't out there. But yeah, I gotta always remember Internet Archives, because so often I'm looking for something on YouTube and it is on Internet Archives. So yeah.
Saved my life on more than one occasion.
Yes.
I worried for a minute that it looked like they were going to shut it down.
Yeah.
Well, they're still
Support the Internet Archive. Let's go.
With somebody. So yeah. And it's
the
crazy.
music publishers, I think, isn't that right? Who's suing them?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But what they're trying to put out there, I'm going, boy, that's really pushing the edge. I can't remember. I was reading about it and I was like, yeah, I wouldn't put that up because that is pushing it. I can't remember. I can't remember what it is, but it's certainly more questionable than an old 1950s television series or something. So yeah.
I would have loved to hear an Orson Welles commentary on intellectual property.
Yeah. That's why, one of the reasons I wish he would have done more commentaries. I just love hearing him talking about any subject, really.
Yeah.
Certainly could have talked about the Mad Comics adaptation of Moby Dick. I think that would have been interesting and get his insights. Anyway, we'll let you folks enjoy this, and who knows? I may throw on the Decca version on the end of it or something. We'll see. So since Terry has politely shown me where that is, anyway, enjoy and love our time with Orson. Love our time together. I'm so glad Terry could join us, and having Vincent back is wonderful, and Kathy is unbelievably excellent as always. So and then there's me.
There's you, yay.
There's always got to be one of these things is not like the others. So enjoy. We'll see you folks next time.
Call me Ishmael. Some years ago, never mind how long, having little money in my purse and nothing to interest me on shore, I put me down for a whaling voyage to sail about and see the watery part of the world. When on that winter's night the Pequod thrust her vindictive bows into the cold, malicious waves, a black, evil magic shivered in the air. A heathen crew that had small touch of human mothers in them, and housed in his cabin there sat brooding a madman captain that no man aboard had ever seen. A madman with a stick of whalebone for a leg. For several days after leaving Nantucket, nothing above hatches was seen of Captain Ahab. It was a short, cold Christmas, and as the northern day merged into night, we found ourselves on a wintry sea whose freezing spray cased us in ice. When darkness came on, sky and sea split with thunder, blazed with the lightning. Then suddenly, I looked at the taffrail There upon his quarterdeck stood Captain Ahab.
Mr. Starbuck, send everybody aft.
Captain Ahab, sir.
Send everybody aft. Mastheads there, come down.
But Captain Ahab, in a wind like this...
Muster all hands aft here.
Aye, sir.
All hands up! All hands up!
All hands are here, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Starbuck. Do you hear me there, men?
Aye, sir.
What do you do when you see a whale, men?
Speak out for him. Sing out, we sing out loud.
Sing out for him then, do ye? And what do you do next, men?
Lower away and after him.
Aye. That's right, Captain.
And what tune is it you pull to, men?
A dead whale or a stove boat. Aye.
Aye, that's the tune, my boy. All ye mastheaders, have any of ye afore now heard me give orders concerning a white whale? Look, do you see this Spanish ounce of gold? A $16 gold piece, man, do you see it?
Aye. We see it, Captain.
Hand me yon topmaul, Mr. Starbuck. I'll fix this gold piece to the mast. And whosoever of ye raises me a white-headed whale with a wrinkled brow and a crooked jaw, whosoever of ye raises me that same white whale with 3 holes punctured in his starboard fluke, look ye, whosoever of ye raises me that same white whale, ye shall have this gold ounce. Hey, boys. It's a white whale, I say. A white whale. Skin your eyes for him, men. Look sharp for white water. If ye but see a bubble, sing out.
Captain Ahab, be that the whale some call Moby Dick?
Moby Dick. Do you know the white whale, then?
Does he fantail a little curious, sir, afore he goes down?
And a curious spout, too, Captain.
Have he 1, 2, 3 good many iron in his hide, too, Captain?
Aye. The harpoons lie all twisted and wrenched in him. Aye, his spout's a big one, like a whole shock of wheat, and white as Nantucket wool. Aye, and he fantails like a split jib in a squall. Death and devils, men. It is Moby Dick. You've seen Moby Dick.
Master, the sea's alive with sharks. They crowd our wake like vultures.
Forehead to forehead, I meet ye this time, Moby Dick. Steer for the open jaw, me boys. I grin at you, you grinning whale. Oh, you sweet powers of air, hug me close. The lance now, steady. Oh, my eyes are blind. I cannot see. Yet, from hell's heart I stab at thee, Moby Dick. For hate's sake, I spit my breath at thee. The jaw, the jaw.
The drama's done. The Pequod, all her crew and captain drowned, and only I, Ishmael, escaped to tell this tale. O Ahab, my captain, noble soul, still do you move before me in all your majesty, up from the spray of your ocean perishing into the unbodied air.
Here, far waterlogged, beyond all hum of human weal and woe, where for long Chinese ages the billows have rolled on, speechless and unspoken too, is now my most familiar home, here in that awful waterland, amid the world's foundations, where unrecorded names and navies rust, ballasted with bones of millions of the drowned. I lay me down. Oh, I have seen enough to split the planets and make Abraham an infidel, yet not one syllable is mine. Oh, hail, great Moby Dick, most mighty, broad, baronial tyrant of the sea. All thy unnameable minglings float beneath me here, buoyed by the breaths of one-time living things exhaled as air. But all is water now. Thou art my conqueror. Thy throne is here in these unverdured seas. Oh, lonely death on lonely life. And this great shroud, the sea, rolls on as it has rolled 5,000 years ago.
Captain Ahab.
Yes, Mr. Starbuck.
I too have heard of Moby Dick. But was it he took off thy leg?
Who told you that? Aye, Starbuck. Aye, me heart is all round. It was Moby Dick that dismasted me. Moby Dick that brought me to this dead stump I stand on now. Aye, aye, it was that cursed white whale that received me, made a poor piggin lubber of me to the end of time. Aye, and I'll chase him round Good Hope, and round the Horn, and round the Norway Maelstrom, and round Perdition's flames before I give him up. And that's what you've shipped for, men, to chase him on both sides of land and over all sides of earth, till he spouts black blood and rolls fin out. What say ye, men? Will ye splice hands on it now? I think ye do look brave.
Aye. Aye. A sharp eye for a white whale, sharp lance for Moby Dick.
Aye.
We'll hunt him, Captain.
Aye. God bless ye, men. Steward, go draw the great measure of drug, drink and pass, and rum for all. Rum, I say! Round with it, round. Long swallows, men. Long swallows. It's as hot as Satan's hook. It spiralizes in ye, forks out of the serpent's snapping eye. Drink, ye harpooners. Drink and swear death to Moby Dick. Left harpoons, me cupbearers. Drink, me sweet cardinals. I commend the murderous chalice to your lips. Drink and swear. God hunt us all, if we hunt not Moby Dick to his death. Ahoy! Ahoy there aboard the Jeroboam! Have you seen the white whale?
Ahoy, the Pequod! What whale do you say?
The white whale! Sperm whale! Moby Dick, have you seen him?
No, sir. I've never heard of such a whale.
Curses throttle thee. Up helm, set all sail. Keep her to the wind.
Aye, aye, sir.
Morning, Mr. Starbuck.
Good morning, sir.
Well then, Mr. Starbuck, what's the long face about?
No matter, sir.
Speak, man, would ye not chase the white whale? Are ye not game for Moby Dick?
I'm game for his crooked jaw, and game for the jaws of death, Captain Ahab, if all comes fairly. But I came here to hunt whales, not my commander's vengeance. How many barrels will your vengeance fetch in the Nantucket market, Captain Ahab?
Come closer, Starbuck. Money's not the measure, my lad. Let me tell ye, my vengeance will fetch a premium here in this hut.
Nay, sir. But vengeance on a dumb brute that smoked you from blindest instinct. It's blasphemous. Madness and blasphemy.
Back here, Mr. Starbuck, there's one God that's Lord over the earth and one captain that's Lord over the Pequod. Do you so much as dare think critically of me?
I spoke too rashly.
My conscience is in this ship's keel, Mr. Starbuck. And though my motive and my object may be mad, I'll hunt the white whale. I'm bound to hunt him, heart, soul, and body, lungs, and life. Do you hear, though the wildest winds of heaven and earth conspire against me, I'll wreak my hate upon him.
Hunt him, then.
There she blows!
There she blows!
Where away?
On the lee beam, 2 miles off!
I see him. A hump like a snow hill. It's Moby Dick! Reef the fore and main topsail, stand by to lower away!
Stand by to lower away!
Ah, Moby Dick, I clutch thy heart at last! There she blows! Pull! Pull at your oars, my good boys! Roar and pull, me thunderbolts! Beats me on his white back! Do this for me, boys, now fill your caps with gold! There's white water again, close to! Quick, hand me my harpoon! There! That she's humped! Steady! Here she goes!
She missed him!
Never will you capture him, old man. In heaven's name, no more of this. It's worse than devil's madness.
Which way? Do you see him? Sing out for every spout, though he spout 10 times a second.
There she blows, there again.
Where to?
Straight to leeward.
Lay me on, boys, lay me on. Pull me hearties. Do you see that white water? I shall go staring mad. Pull, babes. Pull and keep pulling. Burst your livers and your lungs. We're coming up. Steady, boys. Steady. Help me, man. I wish to stand the harpoon now. The eternal sap is running in old Ahab's arm. I'll try again. You got it!
The rope is broken.
The harpoon is gone.
It's an omen, Captain. Shall we keep chasing this murderous fish till he swamps the last man? Shall we be dragged by him to the bottom of the sea?
Ahab is forever Ahab, man. This deed's immutably decreed, and I am the fate's lieutenant under orders. Where is he now?
Can't see the spout, sir. It's too dark to see. There he is, straight before.
He shoots like an arrow out of the sea. Stand by me, men. You see an old man cut down to the stump leaning on a shattered lance. But 'tis Ahab. Believe you men in things called omens. Do ye feel brave?
After him.
Row then! Wait, dumb brute, say ye? Moby Dick is a murderous monster, strong and inscrutable, cunning, cruel, and remorseless, and sinewed with malice. Avast, man, have ye no bowels for a fight? Are not the crew one and all with Ahab? Would ye hang back when every foremost hand has clutched a whetstone? Speak, man, speak!
God keep me, keep us all.
Can you say no more?
You're my commander. I must obey you. Ye need have no fear of me. But let Ahab beware of Ahab. Beware of yourself, old man.
Go below, Mr. Starbuck.
Aye, aye, sir.
Go below! Down, dog and kennel!
I'm not used to be spoke to that way, sir. I less than half like it.
Then be called 10 times a donkey, a mule, and an ass. And be gone, or I'll clear the world of ye. Masthead there! Aye, look sharp, all of ye. There are whales hereabouts. If you see a white one, split your lungs for him. What's that, he said? Ahab, beware of Ahab. There's something there. Oh, the lightning flashes through my skull and mine eyeballs ache and ache. My whole beaten brain seems beheaded and rolling on some stunning ground. My heart is sick. I'll go below. It's like going down into a tomb for an old captain to descend this narrow scuttle down to his grave-dug bed. I seek my nightly grave to sleep between shrouds, and down I go, griping at the iron banister to help my crippled way. Hark to the crack and din of my bony step. My dreams will be of the crunching teeth of sharks. If I could sleep. Old age is wakeful. The longer linked with life, the less man has to do with aught that looks like death. Away!
3 points of the starboard bow, sir!
Hand me a trumpet there. Ship ahoy aboard the Albatross! Have you seen the white whale?
Aboard the Pequod! The white whale, did you say?
White whale, sperm whale, Moby Dick!
Beware of him! The harpoon's not yet forged that'll kill Moby Dick!
Look ye, Nantucketer! Here in this hand I hold his death, tempered in blood and tempered by lightning of these barbs, and I swear to temper triply in the hot place behind his fin, where Moby Dick most feels his cursed life.
God have mercy on thee then.
The black vomit drench thee. Race forward there! Up helm and keep her to the course. He's in these seas. Somewhere in these seas, old Moby Dick is swimming. Morning, Mr. Starbuck.
Morning, sir.
It's a mild wind and a mild-looking sky.
Aye. Indeed it is, sir.
On such a day, very much such a sweetness as this, I struck my first whale. A boy harpooner of 18, 40 years ago. 40 years on the pitiless sea. And of these 40 years, I've not spent 3 ashore. For 40 years, I've fed on dry, salted fare when the poorest landsman had fresh fruit to his daily hand. Away, whole oceans away from the girl wife that I wedded. I widowed that poor girl when I married her, Starbuck. What a 40 years. 40 years fool as I have been. How the richer or better is Ahab now? Do I look old? So very old, Starboard. I feel deadly faint, bowed and humped, as though I were Adam staggering beneath the piled-up centuries since paradise. Stand close to me, Starbuck. Let me look into a human eye. Ah, this is the magic glass, man. I see a green land. I see my wife and child in thine eye.
Captain, let's leave these deadly waters. Let's sail for home. Think how joyously we'd bowl our way to old Nantucket Harbor, sir.
Home and harbor, aye. Home is pitiful. And in the harbor, there is safety, comfort, hearthstone, warm blankets, friends, and all that's kind to our mortalities. It's a mild wind to carry us home, and the air smells now as if it blew from a faraway meadow. They've been making hay on the slopes of the Andes, Starbuck, and the mowers are sleeping among the new-mown hay.
Captain Ahab, sir. Shall I give the orders? Shall I tell him to put about to sail for home, sir?
Home? Aye. Home.
Ah, she blows!
I leave a white and turbid wake, pale waters, paler cheeks where'er I sail. The envious billows sidelong swell to whelm my track. Let 'em. Yonder the diver's sun, slow dived from noon, goes down. My soul mounts up, she wearies with her endless hill. Ah, time was when as the sunrise spurred me, so the sunset soothed. No more, no more. This lovely light, it lights me not. All loveliness is anguish, damned, subtly and malignantly, damned in the midst of paradise. Good night, good night. Yet 'tis not too hard a task. I thought to find one stubborn at the least. What I've dared, I've willed, and what I've willed, I'll do. They think me mad, Starbuck does, but I am demoniac. I am madness maddened. That wild madness that's only calm to comprehend itself. The prophecy has been that I should be dismembered, and I lost this leg. But I do now prophesy that I'll dismember my dismemberer. Now be the prophet and fulfiller one. Ye great bully gods, I laugh and hoot at ye. Ye deaf birks and blinded bendigos. You've knocked me down, but I'm up again. Ahab's compliments to ye. Come see if you can swerve me. Swerve me, swerve me. The path to my fixed purpose is laid with iron rails, whereon my soul is grooved to run, o'er unsounded gorges, through the hearts of mountains, under torrents' beds, I'll rush. So will I fight ye, ye grim phantom futures. Stand by me, hold me, bind me, ye blessed demigorgons. Stand all! The white whale spouts thick blood!
I, Ishmael, was one of the crew aboard the Pequod. I, too, had sworn to murder Moby Dick, and as the days went by, the more did I hammer and clinch my oath because of the dread in my soul. Your true whale hunter is as much a savage as any cannibal, but the harpooners aboard the Pequod were savages indeed. Tashtego, the blood-skinned Iroquois, Queequeg, a tattooed island aboriginal, and Great Daggoo, a giant coal-black African. The blacksmith's forge was on the deck, lashed fast by ring bolts to the foremast, and there the savages would crouch to worship fire. There, too, one day came Captain Ahab to watch the sparks fly and hear the hammer ring.
Blacksmith, what are you making there?
Welding an old pike, Edson.
And can ye make it all smooth after such hard usage as it had?
I think so, sir.
And I suppose you can smooth most any seams and dents, no matter how hard the metal.
Aye, sir, I think I can. All seams and dents but one.
Look ye here, then, blacksmith, look ye here. Can ye smooth out a seam like this one upon my brow? If he but could, glad would I lay my head upon thy anvil, and feel thy heaviest hammer between my eyes. Answer, can ye smooth this seam?
That's the one, sir. Said I not all seams and dents but one?
Aye, blacksmith, 'tis the one, for though ye see it in my flesh, it is worked down into the bone of my skull. That is all wrinkles. But away with child's play. No more gaffs and pikes today. Look ye here. I want a harpoon made. One that 1,000 yoke of fiends could never part. Something that will stick in a whale like his own fin bone. There's the stuff. Look ye, blacksmith, these are the gathered nail stubs of the steel shoes of racing horses.
Horseshoe stuff, sir. Why, there's the best and stubbornest stuff we blacksmiths ever worked.
Aye, so 'tis indeed. These stubs will weld together like glue from the melted bones of murderers. Quick, forge me the harpoon. Hammer, man! Hammer! And temper the steel till it smells of fire, like a musket's powder pan. Hand it here. This harpoon is for the white whale, me boys. For the white fiend's hump, do you hear? And now for the knives and barbs to cut and twist it in. Here him in razors, the best of steel. Here, blacksmith, make the barbs and make them sharp as the needle sleet of the icy sea. Here, to work. Hammer, blacksmith! Out of the way! Now they take shape. No water for these dagger points. Don't temper them with water. I want the true death temper. Ahoy there, testigo queequeg the goo. What say ye, pagans? Will ye give me as much blood as will cover this barb? There's me brave lads. Here now, I'll make 3 punctures in this heathen flesh and temper my harpoon with human blood. Ego non baptizo te in nomine Patris, sed in nomine Diaboli. In the name of the devil I baptize thee. In the devil's name. Ha! Now my harpoon is done.